Hi and welcome to my channel. In today's video we are going to learn about the Konjunktiv 1. This video is split into 5 parts. In the first part we are going to learn when to use it. Then we will also learn how to form it. Later on we are going to learn about the exception sein. Then we will also learn what to do if the Konjunktiv 1 form is the same as the presens. And at the end we also have an exercise. Let's start with the first part. The Konjunktiv 1 is used for indirect speeches, usually in press or articles, and when we want to report thoughts. For example, someone thought, she believed, he believed, and so on. Let's take a look at one example when we're talking about indirect speeches. Liz sagt, ich kann die ganze Nacht lang lernen. Let's repeat. Liz sagt, ich kann die ganze Nacht lang lernen. Means Liz says, I can learn all night long. Now we want to put this sentence into the Konjunktiv 1 form. In English we would say, Liz said she could learn all night long. In German, Liz sagt, sie könne die ganze Nacht lang lernen. Liz sagt, sie könne die ganze Nacht lang lernen. Liz said she could learn all night long. So what changes here? First, the personal pronoun. Ich changes to sie. Because it's not a direct speech anymore, it's an indirect speech now. So we say what Liz has said. And the next thing is that kann changes to könne. Sie könne is third person singular Konjunktiv 1. Let's move on to our next step, how to form the Konjunktiv 1. This is pretty easy, we just have to take the infinitive stem plus the Konjunktiv 1 endings est, en, et, n. By the way, if you don't know how to get the infinitive stem, you just have to remove en or n from the infinitive verb, and here we go. So let's go quickly through it. The Konjunktiv 1 forms of können are ich könne, du könnest, sie es könne, wir können, ihr könnet, and sie können. Now you see 2 exclamation marks at the first person plural and the third person plural. In situations where the Konjunktiv 1 form is identical with the presens, we have to take the Konjunktiv 2 form. Let's see what that means. So, wir können will change to wir könnten, and sie können will change to sie könnten. This might sound a bit difficult. Let's take a look at one example. Sie sagen, wir können morgen kommen. Sie sagen, wir können morgen kommen. In English, they say, we can come tomorrow. Now we want to cite them. So in Konjunktiv 1 it would be Sie sagten, sie können morgen kommen. Now the problem is that Sie können is Konjunktiv 1, but it's also the same in presens. So that means we have to take the Konjunktiv 2 form. This will be Sie sagten, sie könnten morgen kommen. Sie sagten, sie könnten morgen kommen. They said they could come tomorrow. Then, as already said before, it's also used for reporting thoughts. Someone thought, she believed, and so on. Let's take a look at one example. Paul sagt, ich glaube, Vivian ist müde. Paul sagt, ich glaube, Vivian ist müde. Means Paul says, I believe or I think Vivian is tired. And now we want to report his thought. Then we would say, Paul glaubte, Vivian sei müde. You can also say Paul glaubt, Vivian sei müde, or Paul glaubte, Vivian sei müde. So what is important here, ist changes to sei. So the infinitive verb of it is sein, and this is an exception. And here we go to our next step. The only exception for Konjunktiv 1, sein, to be. Let's go quickly through it. Ich sei, du seist, or you can also say du seiest. Then sie, es sei, wir seien, ihr seiet, and sie seien. So that should be clear, so let's go back to our example. We say the Konjunktiv 1 of third person singular ist sei, sie, es sei. That's why we say Paul glaubte, Vivian sei müde. Alright, let's carry on with another example. Liz sagt, ich denke, Peter wird mich später abholen. Let's repeat. Liz sagt, ich denke, Peter wird mich später abholen. In English, Liz says, I think Peter is going to pick me up later. Now, we want to report her thought, let's say, on the next day. Then we say, Liz dachte, Peter werde sie später abholen. Liz dachte, Peter werde sie später abholen. So we say Liz dachte, Liz thought. Why thought? Because we are talking about it on the next day. So that's why we use another tense here. And wird changes to werde. Why werde? Because werde is the third person singular Konjunktiv 1 form of werden. Peter werde sie später abholen. With sie we mean Liz. Liz dachte, Peter werde sie später abholen. Alright. So that's pretty much it. Now it's time for our exercises. Paul sagte, ich gehe morgen zum Arzt. In English, Paul said, I'm going to the doctor tomorrow. Now we want to cite him, which means we have to use the Konjunktiv 1. This would be, Paul sagte, gehe morgen zum Arzt. Paul sagte, gehe morgen zum Arzt. In English, Paul said he would go tomorrow to the doctor. Alright, next one. Anna sagt, ich bin erst um 10 Uhr in Berlin. Anna sagt, ich bin erst um 10 Uhr in Berlin. In English, Anna says, I'm not before 10 o'clock in Berlin. Now we want to cite her, we use again Konjunktiv 1. Anna sagt, sie sei erst um 10 Uhr in Berlin. Right. Anna sagt, sie sei erst um 10 Uhr in Berlin. Alright, and our last one. Jeder denkt, ich habe 3 Katzen. Jeder denkt, ich habe 3 Katzen means everyone thinks I have 3 cats. Jeder denkt, ich hätte 3 Katzen. Right. Jeder denkt, ich hätte 3 Katzen. Alright, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Have a nice day and see you next time.